Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Interview Experience by I Love Metallurgy with your host and host Bishojit. I would like to welcome our today's guest, Mr. Shashank Sir. Sir has recently placed in ADP for the role of software engineer. Automatic Data Processing is an American provider of human resource management software and services. ADP was ranked 227 on the Fortune 500 list of the largest United States corporations by revenue and also been included on Fortune magazine's World Most Admired Companies list for 14 consecutive years. So, many congratulations, sir. We're glad that you accepted our invitation. It's nice to have you here, sir.
Thank you, Swajit, and thank you the team. I love metallurgy for inviting me. So yeah, thank you, Swajit.
Moving on to our first very question, sir. Sir, would you please give a brief intro about the company and what will be your role and responsibilities there?
Yeah, sure, Swajit. ADP, that means Automatic Data Processing, is a American company. Is a provider of human resource management software and the services. Basically, they provide the SCM, human capital management software, to the different clients, and I have researched so many, and I get to know that TCS, the data consultancy service, using that software. So, and another thing that they provide the solution to the business solution and the analytical solution to the different clients. So that's all about the ADP, and you have already mentioned that it's a Fortune 500 company and listed in the rank of 227, and
Yes,
it's
sir.
a world's most admirable company for the continue 14 consecutive years. So that's a great achievement. And the company established in 1949. It's also a quite old company. And basically, the my role and responsibility, the role I have been given in R&D department of the ADP, and the role is basically they call it as the senior member technical. So mainly in R&D, they will work with their product. ADP is a product based company, so though they mainly work with the product. And definitely, the for the product based company, the paying scale is also good and the work life balance is also good. So the ADP is a company where you get good pay scale and the work life balance. And the role and responsibility, I'm not much aware of the role and which have been given to which will be given to me in the ADP. But I contacted different employee of the ADP through LinkedIn, and they were like, "You have Java in your resume, so mostly will get the role of Java developer. Most probably, I'm not sure. I will get the Java developer or .NET developer. So that's all, and mostly I will get the role of backend developer. So that's all about the company and my role and responsibility.
Yes, sir. Sir, what skills one should master to be placed in these companies like ADP?
You don't have to be master, okay? You don't have to be master in any skill. You just have to be decent and simple, and the skill you
Yes,
are
sir.
good at you have to mention in resume, and you have to keep revising the things, because by revising the things you'll be mature enough in that concept. Okay, so you just have to focus on one area. Like
Yes, sir.
if you want to get placed in the company product based company, so you must have a decent coding skill, and that's it, not more than that. And for that you have to learn a language. Like you can learn any language, C++, Java, Python, because language doesn't matter till you have a problem solving skill. So language is just a way to solve the problem. Okay, so you just have to be the problem solver. You just have to learn a language, you have to be decent in coding. And apart from that, after learning a language, you can switch to data structure and algorithm. You have two options. After learning a language, you have two options: data structure and algorithm. Another is like you can go for development part. So it's your choice. If you are not getting interest in data structure and algorithm, you can switch to the development part. There isn't any hard and fast rule. You have to do data structure and algorithm. So that's all. You have to be very decent and simple, the things which you are knowing. It's not like you have to be master. You can't you can't be a master in anything. Okay, so you just have to focus on the thing, and you'll be good to go.
Sir, when it comes to coding, students are more confused which program language they should learn. What are your thoughts on this, sir?
Okay, I will categorize it into two parts. Like if the student are in third year, they have to go with the language they know. They don't have to change anything right now. Because in
Yes,
most
sir.
of the interview, you will be asked the OOPS concept, that is object oriented. That is not in C programming. That is taught in our college in very first year. Okay. So if the student are in second year or first year, so they have the C, that is good, fine, no problem at all. So they can switch to C++. That is just a higher version of C, and there is a backward compatibility in C++ that you can write the C code as well in C++. So if the student are in second year, so they can switch to C++ if they know C, and there is
Yes, sir.
object oriented concept. If they don't know anything, they can start with their choice. Like if they want to go analytical field, machine learning, so they have to choose language according to choice. Mostly people choose the language for analytical and machine learning, that is Python. Otherwise you can learn Java, C++, C sharp. There are so many languages you can learn. So these are the simple thing. And for most of the student, like in our college, they do C++ because they do competitive programming in different platform like HackerEarth, HackerRank, CodeSap, LeetCode. So C++ is very efficient, very fast language as compared to Java and Python. So they used to learn C++ for their data structure and algorithm, so they will be good to go with data structure and algorithm because it is very fast, and they used to do competitive programming. So for competitive programming, I prefer to do C++. That is good.
So, sir, how many levels were there in the interview process and how did you prepare for it?
Okay. So basically, ADP generally conduct 4 rounds of hiring process. The first one is the written round. The second one TR1, that is technical round one, and the third one that is also TR2, that is technical round two, and the final one, that is fourth round, that is HR round. And if we'll be talking about the rounds, that is first round, that is the written round. So
Yes, sir.
there were 3 sections. First one, that is aptitude. Second, logical, and the third one is pseudocode and technical part. Basically, they cover MySQL, DBMS, databases questions. So the technical part contain each question contain 2 marks. That is not in case of aptitude round, logical. That is one question carry each marks in means aptitude round and logical reasoning. But in technical part, there were 20 question I think, and each question contain 2 marks. So these are the process of ADP for heading.
Yes. Sir, what resources you followed to crack the interview, sir?
Okay, let's see. Uh, I was well known to C++. That was in my school,
Yes, sir.
and C language, that is in very first year. That is common for all the branches. So I learned from there. And talking about then I was very much confused. Then one of my friend Kisla, who sent me the resources for the analytical field, I was confused. I have to go for coding or analytical. So I asked for him, so he sent us some books of guesstimate and case study. I went through each and everything for almost 15 or 16 days. Then I was like, I was not able to do much on that. So I completely left and switched to coding. Okay. So from there I started my coding journey. And for that I revised my C from the YouTube channel, that is EG for Tuts, something like that, each channel name, and the Twitter name is Vikas Pandey, I think. So I revised C from there, and then I start. Then some of my friends suggest, if you start taking interest in data structure and algorithm, you can go with that. Otherwise you can go with the development part. Okay, so I took some time, and because I didn't have that much time at that particular time, because I started very late. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
what I did, I just started data structure and algorithm, and I started taking interest in that. Okay, so I left the development part, and I started going with the data structure and algorithm with the C language. Okay, most people don't do data structure and algorithm with C language because it's quite complicated to write the code. Okay, because most of the people prefer C++ because it's very fast language and very simple to write the code. Okay, so but I was well known to C because that was quite recent in very first year. So I was good to go with the data structure and algorithm with C language. Then you'll be talking about the resources. So
Yes, sir.
first I talked like ag.foryou.com, that is the YouTube channel. And second one, you can revise your concept, and you can read different articles on gigs for gigs. Java T point is the that is completely everything is available there. Then other is tutorial point, W3S point and W3S school. These are also two platforms where you can learn. And the most important thing that is Googling. You have to learn how to Google. Googling is the most important part during the preparation of the placement. You have to Google most of the things and learn by self, because there are so many resources available free. You don't have to pay anything for that. Okay, so just you have to Google and search which resources is better for me and just go with that. Keep the things limited and revise it, because I always I always suggest the student, like, you have to revise the things, because by revising the things you will be more mature and mature in the concept, and you will be doing wonder. Don't be panic.
Yes, sir. Sir, from your experience, what is more important for placement?
Okay. The most important, don't have to be panic. Like, my friends are getting placed in different forms, and I'm the only guy who is not getting placed. So you just have to keep revising the things and keep going. Don't do what others are doing. You know what you know, and you have to revise that thing, or you have to revise as well as you have to add on something each day. Okay, so that that will enhance your skill. So you have to add on. And when the time zone or time frame will come where you feel that you are fully prepared and will be suitable for the job, definitely will get, no problem at all. Okay, so you just have to focus on the things which you know, and you have to keep revising and add on is the most important thing. You have to add on, don't stuck on the things you know already. You have to add on something, and you'll good to go, and the time will come, you'll be doing wonder with any company.
Yes. Sir, tell us what your thoughts, whether you wanted to go to into core sector or decided that you wanted to go towards non-core.
Okay. It's quite tricky, but let me tell you, I was not able to crack the boundary of grain, that is grain boundary. So I I decided from there that I will go with the non-code, but I was quite confused that I will go for analytical or coding sector, but I was not able to crack the boundary of grain boundary. So that, there I decided I will go with the non-code sector.
Yes. Sir, how important are communication skills in interview and how we can improve them, sir?
Okay, let's see. Most of the time, people talk. The communication skill means you have to be good in English. It's not like that. You have to be good in English or vocabulary. That is not the case. The communication skill means you just have to convey your message to the people you want to convey. That should be proper and clear to that person. Okay, so that they can understand your thought and the way you are delivering the things. That is the part of communication skill. It's not about fancy English and very hard vocabulary. These are not the cases in communication skills. You just have to focus on the things you know and just convey the things. If you are able to convey the things to the others in very clear manner, then it's good for you. Otherwise, I don't think the good English or vocabulary is very much needed. But yeah, for sure, you have to do a decent English. You have to be very simple and decent if you don't know very fancy English. So you just have to focus on the things which you know and keep the things simple. Most of the time, people like, I have to learn vocabulary, I have to do the fancy sentence framing. Means you are wasting the time at the very at the placement system, because you have to focus on the skill. Communication skill is just like a turmeric in vegetable. You just put a color on your placement. The spicy, that is taste, that will be searching the interview searching for the taste. That is your skills that you know. So the communication skill is this much only. I don't think they are too much important. You have to do fancy English or very good in vocabulary. You just have to convey the message you want, and that is good for them.
Yes, sir. Sir, what things you did to manage both your core and non-core studies during college?
Okay. Core and non-core sector. You can manage core and non-core, because in my case there was a online classes, so there were so many time. Like, you can
Yes.
manage core and non-core as well. Classes were not going on at very initial phase of COVID, so you had much time. You can utilize that time. Apart from that, if the classes started after some time, then the Time got enough. Time got enough because online classes were not that much frequent, and there were 2 3 classes in a day. Okay, so you had enough time. We had enough time, so we can optimize our time to how much time we have to put on the core and non-core. So you have to decide wisely which sector you want to go, but you have to put some time on the core because you have to pass the examination. So definitely you have to manage both of them. So for core, you can optimize your time. For non-core, you can put your time so that you can manage accordingly and balance each and everything.
Yes, sir. Sir, how important is our CGPA and resume during our campus placement, sir?
Okay, I will come to CGPA later on, but resume is quite important. So I will be
Yes,
talking
sir.
about the resume part. You have to keep a single page resume. Okay, in which you have to mention each and everything you know, not more than that. Not if you know 2 and 3 skill, you just have to mention 2 or 3, because the company the company will be looking for the skill you know, how much well known you are with that skill. Okay, because every company have a training program, they will train you according to their project or the need of the work. Okay, so you
Yes,
don't
sir.
have to worry about that, or you have to mention unwanted things to show off. You don't have to show off because they are quite experienced people. They can catch you. Okay, so you just have to mention the things you know, and mention the things properly in resume. You'll get format from the college. Okay, so you'll get format, and according to that format, you have to mention each and everything in the resume, and keep the things very simple. Okay, so that the interviewer can understand that the people are genuine. Okay, so they can give you more advantage over others, because they know if you are good at that skill, then they will train in other skill, you will be able to grasp each and everything. Okay, so they will be looking for the people who can learn quickly, and honest in the interview. Okay, so these are the things. Resume is quite important. You have to single page resume and mention each and everything. Talking about CGPA, I don't think, if the company are very established company like big firm, they are not looking for the CGPA. They are looking for the people who can work for them. Okay, so they won't looking for the CGPA. But I would say if your CGPA is 6.5 or 7, that is quite enough for any company. But some startup or new startup, they will be looking for sometimes they will be looking for the higher CGPA like 7 or 7.5. But these companies frequencies are very low, like there are 4 to 5 companies. Okay, so CGPA 6.5 or 7, that is good, no problem at all. But to be safer side, 7 is quite enough.
Yes, sir. Sir, so the final question of the interview, can you please share some points to keep in mind for the viewers watching this and for those who want to get into non-core field?
Okay. For the company like ADP, if you want to go, you have to be decent in coding. Okay. Uh, Not much. You have to learn. If you want to learn data structure, linear data structure is enough for that. Okay. Uh, the second one is databases. You have to learn databases, some basic concept of DBMS, and the most important thing which you people have to keep in mind, like you have to revise the things, because most of the time people don't revise the things, and they're only looking for the new things, so they forget the things they have learned. So uh, if I will be talking about data structure, you must have to do 1 to 2 problems daily, because data structure is quite important. If you are doing only data structure, not development part. Okay, if you are doing development part, that is enough, then they won't gonna ask you data structure much. In service based company, like they mostly allow the non-circuit branch. Okay, so this one is the technical part. For the people to keep in mind, if the placement session is going on, don't be panic, be relaxed, and wait for your time. Keep on devising the things, because nothing is in your hand. Just you have to work hard, and the time, and if you do work hard, then the time will come, and you'll be able to crack any company. I know some of my friends who are doing wonders right now. They didn't get placed very early, but they are doing wonders. They have so many multiple offers, or all are 10 plus etc. So believe me, don't don't run behind the people. They are like, I will get placed very early and like that. Don't be like that. Just focus on the things you know and just keep revising and keep going.
Thank you, sir, for taking off time for this interview. I am sure our viewers would have found this informative. Once again, thank you, sir.